What's going on, family and friends? Once again, welcome to this next episode of Inside the Music, the Truth Behind the Truth. You are rocking with us in season 2. You know who I am. It's your big homie, TC Colwell, BKA Storm E Weathers, the Beast on the East, rocking on Hip Hop Boulevard 95 South, riding straight out west to the Las Vegas Strip with the two kings, the best in the West, King KC Cousin and King DC Don DeCosta, and you are right here joining us right now. Tune in for the guest that we got. We got a special guest coming to y'all this week right here on Inside the Music, the truth about the truth on Move'emRadio.com.
Mr. Con, ex-Con.
What's going on, KC?
What's happening, baby boy? Good to see you, man.
Blessing to see you.
I'm gonna get right in on this question because I'll be curious about certain things, man. The name, ex-Con.
Ex-Con. When you hear ex-Con, people think of jail. I name myself ex-Con. X represents my lost royalty, and Khan, I name myself after Genghis Khan because Genghis Khan conquered the most space. My name is also synonymous with the way Tupac named his Outlawz. So I was conditioned and born for this movement.
Okay. Word. Let's get right into it because we see what that mindset is. We get with that mindset, bro. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that's when you make up a name like that, it's got some substance to it and it's got a meaning to it and it's genuine. Then that's how we roll, especially in hip hop, where you know. When you do this, when you get on this mic, you definitely gotta blaze your trail. You know what I'm saying? It's not good coming out being like somebody else, especially when you're associated to certain people. But let's get into that real quick. Little background on you, bro. Where you from? What you represent? I see you did a lot of moving around. Let's talk about that, man. Coming up.
I came up in a place called Bridgeport, Connecticut. It was a murder capital. In 85, 86, it was the murder capital of the world. I survived that, being raised by a single mother, living in the projects, in a high drug area, and surviving that is the testimony in itself. By the time I turned at the age of 13, my mom got caught up in some things. She was really successful in her hustle as a woman in the 80s, and got caught up in some things. And then we had to move to New Jersey, where I continued my education and showed my roots. And from that opportunity and that point, I was raised in my adolescence is where I discovered Tupac Shakur and heard his music and heard his message. It became profound on me. As you know, rap music was around, but none of the music really stuck to me because of the messages that were actually coming out in the early 90s. There was a lot of negativity in the music. There was a lot of killing, black on black crime, and a lot of negativity, the degradation of women. And when I heard Keep Your Head Up and Dear Mama, those songs really hit home to me. And from that moment on, I fell in love with hip hop and realized that there's a gift inside the music. And because I wrote poetry at a young age, it also inspired me to try to find my voice with music. And that's where DMX came in. He basically opened the door for my voice. Lyrically, I feel very blessed to have experienced the things that I experienced. While even though I never had the opportunity to meet Tupac, while he was alive, I followed his movement very strongly to the point where I had one of my close friends. He went by Evil Steels at the time. he kept a whole wall of memoirs of our pictures growing up. But on one wall, he had all Tupac posters, Tupac articles, everything that came out with Tupac, he had it on that wall. And we really rode hard with Machiavelli's movement. When he passed away, I felt like I lost a piece of myself. And my journey from that point on, I felt that it was my mission as I started growing into my art to pick up the flag and the torch and be able to teach, educate, motivate the youth using hip hop and show that you don't have to spit negative things all the time. You don't have to go down that road. You can use music for good as well as bad. Because when I hear when they say, oh, well, they listen to this person's song and that person's song is responsible for killing somebody. No, it's not. Like, nobody blames guns for killing people. So how are you going to blame music for killing people? Unfortunately, it is a very influential gift when you hear music and it's always received by the messenger, how it's displayed. People are usually have something happen to them to where they take music and use it to actually just put the icing on the cake, part to say. But to turn around and say that music is the root of it, I'm not feeling that. Nobody's going around saying the kids in Columbine, when they shot up those kids in Columbine, they're not going to say that those kids were listening to heavy metal. And that's the reason why that they did what they did. They did what they did because culturally they had difficulties fitting into society. And when someone has difficulty fitting in society, they become an outcast. And when they become an outcast, they either do two things. They either use that as utilization to become something in society to make a fundamental change, or they cave into the pressure, pick up some heat, and then they express it in a negative way. But we all have choices in life, and we all make choices in life. And me, I believe that God has allowed me to make the right choices in life. Thus, I feel it was my responsibility to be a second generation outlaw and to carry the flag in the movement.
Okay, so when you moved over to Jersey, how much of a change did that put on your lifestyle? I mean, like you hanging, who were you hanging with? Did you end up thugging at all?
Yeah, I did. It was different because where I came from, it was a dog eat dog situation where I came from to a area where these people were acting hard, but to me it wasn't what you call hard. Like Baltimore was hard, Connecticut was hard. These are areas like parts of New York City is hard. Jersey's hard, but it has a swag to it. And yes, I was rolling 50 deep, 100 deep, but me, I was a leader, so I didn't make the choices that everyone else made. I've always been a leader and responsible for the things that I've done and what I do. I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes, but throughout all that, I've always had God in my life. I had a praying grandmother who, at a very young age, when we went to go visit her, she made sure that we went to church. She showed me structure. My grandparents showed me what a good lifestyle should and fruits of labor should encompass. So from that, I had an image of what positivity was. But when I leave them and I go back to the hood and I see hopelessness and despair and struggle and strife and to see all the negative things that were put into our community to destroy our people, it was really painful. And it was really difficult for me to make certain connections. But I believe God used me as a vessel to show me these things so he could show me the path of what good is and what bad is. And sometimes what is good isn't good. And sometimes where people are demeaning areas are bad. And in the hood, sometimes you can find some of the best love and some of the tightest relationships, which I've got to experience because you're living on top of each other. So everybody knows everybody. So when everybody knows everybody, it's a certain etiquette and a relationship that you develop with these people over time because you grew up with them. But at the same time, you know, people are human. People make mistakes. People do things wrong. Sometimes an outsider comes in, and usually it's, you know, you'll have a conflict with your brother, but when somebody from the outside comes in, you know, your enemy is my enemy, is my friend, and you know, you team up with them, and you have their back because, you know, it hit home. It's in our backyard. But gangbanging was not an avenue that I chose to take. I chose to, again, to be an individual, a leader, represent a spokesperson for all people in all walks of life. And being a second generation outlaw, I'm able to do all that. I don't have to wear a flag. I'm accepted by all, endorsed by all, and most receive my message. And I also believe it's a blessing to have that honor bestowed upon me.
So
X, do me a favor. You've
Yes.
used it twice. Explain to the people what you mean when you say second generation.
The first generation was
a lot of people don't understand.
Okay, well, the second generation consists of Quintero, One Shot Jones, Revelation, Pistola, Smoke. These gentlemen are the offspring, the second generation of the movement, and there's many others that are involved, but these are basically the nucleus of the movement of the second generation. The first generation, as we all know, was Edie, Fatal, Yacht, Castro, Gaddafi. Those that were under the tutelage of Tupac, who walked and broke bread with them through his time while he walked upon this earth and spread his message in the short amount of time that he had. That was the first generation. The second generation is we are to continue the work of the first generation. We take what Pac left us and the Outlawz left us, and we take it and we manifest it to set it up for the third generation. So we all are on our mission to make this world a better place through music, using music as a platform so we can reach and educate the youth, to show that being a crafty lyricist, to use your skills and your energy and your movement to do the same things that Pac did. Pac represented change. Pac represented struggle. Pac represented thug life. As you know, it's the hate that you gave. In the end, it screwed everybody. And and he was a leader. Unfortunately, as we know, most Black leaders end up being dead, but he was a leader to the Black community. He was a leader that crossed over to different genres. He was a leader that went worldwide, and his message still resonates with us today. So I feel it's my job, by being blessed to have been to record with all the three remaining outlaws at the time: Idi Amin, Fatal, God rest the dead, and Young Noble, to have the opportunity to record with those three, to actually feel what it was like to be around Tupac and to carry that energy, pick up the flag and carry on.
Check this out, man. So you say you always wrote poetry. So when did you start spitting? When did you start spitting?
I started spitting in New Jersey. I used to take a beat up radio, and I would record the music on the radio. I would record any verses that Pac and Biggie did, and then after Pac or Biggie rapped, I would rap. I would rap freestyle right after them, and that's how I really developed my gift and honed my gift. Then I got involved with a group called Illegal Bastards, where I was going by the name of GMK, Grandmaster Killer. We was in the basement, you know, with the turntables, and we was making music, cutting up, old school style. And then from there on, as I evolved, I started to go out in the community, into the masses, and I used to spit verses and spit bars, get into freestyles and the whole nine. And then and as I grew, I realized how powerful my art was. That I realized that I wasn't just another rapper, that God has bestowed a gift on me. When I would get on stage and I start rapping, and I noticed the change in the people when they hear my voice and my energy and my exuberance, I realized that I wasn't just an average artist. I realized that I had a gift, a God-given gift, and I intend to use it for the good, the greater good.
Okay, here go the next question. Now, you know this one coming around the corner. So you sound like my boy DMX.
Yes, I do.
I mean, like, I can tell it's a natural thing. Even when you talk, I can hear it.
With no equipment, no beat machines. This is my raw voice. My dad had a very deep voice. I get my voice. I know I got it from him, and I've been able to use that in such a powerful way. I had opened up for Looney Coleon and Sibo, and I had freestyle for them. You know, after I did my show, I was outside with them, hanging out with them, and they told me that my voice was the most powerful voice they heard in hip hop since DMX. So I took that as a very, very high compliment.
So my biggest question is, how much of a hindrance, or how much of it has it helped you, or how much do people want to try to, because people will try to hate, Yeah,
you get haters. I just believe that my gift is so strong and my words are so real that I rarely get that. I rarely get it. I really get the hate. I have a message of love. My ultimate message is love. Love one another. That's the ultimate message. And I'm sure there's people out there that, they may not feel what I do, but they can't take away from what I do, because the music is real, the words are real, the bars are real, and it's coming from a real person who understands the struggle, who came from those same areas that DMX came from.
X, he happens to be the one that heard your voice. Remember that I told you and swore it was. I said, yeah, he's X, but it ain't DMX. So I had to send him. Remember the video you sent me in the backyard?
Yeah.
With the guy?
Yeah.
I heard it. I'm like,
that was an impromptu freestyle that we did as a tribute to DMX.
Yeah, I was impressed. I'm like, so what's the game on this one? Because your boy, we just had him on.
You talk about Rev.
Yeah, Rev.
Because Rev.
Yeah. Y'all sound like rebirth situations, You
think Rev look and sound like Pop, and he think you sound like DMX. The only thing that really goes with DMX is the X. X for X-Con, DMX for DMX.
Yeah, well, his cadence, after I listened to him, because when I was listening, he does not rap like DMX.
No, he has his own style.
He got his own style.
Yeah.
It's
just the voice quality.
Yeah, and it's not always, it's just certain times when he go to growling and barking and shit. You know what I'm saying? I felt you, man. That's why I was asking. I'm saying, like, okay, so what's up with this? With this cat sound like DMX, man? What's up with this? I was impressed.
I've been through New York City. I sold a massive amount of CDs. I rapped in the streets, and like I said, I get all love. Everywhere I go, I've been blessed, and it's a blessing. And it's all on your energy and how you carry yourself. And I just been blessed that people receive me. I don't expect everyone to receive me, but I'm very blessed that most do receive me. I don't have really any negative things about people saying about my music or my style or my delivery. I usually get all love.
So are you signed to a label? Are you independent? What's your game? What you done? How you run it?
I work with Urban Alliance. We got our distribution through Empire Music. I'm an independent artist, and I continue to strive and continue to just do music and let it continue to revolve around the world. I'm not interested in signing no major deal. I'm not interested in selling my soul. I'm very interested in using my music to create a platform so I can create fundamental change.
Now tell everybody that you will be going out on tour with Rev.
Yes, I will be. Yes, I will be.
Rev, and we'll have our girl with us, Claudette King.
Very, very beautiful voice.
So the family will be together and we will be doing a lot of things. We will be actually going out on tour for that sickle cell concert tour, which is Cure Every Cell, which is for the people that have sickle cell and the parents that need money because of the fact that when you get involved with sickle cell, if somebody in your family has it, as Rev told me, people in his family has had it, it's a struggle. You can't always work because you have to take time off. The fact that sickle cell is extremely painful for kids. So it's something that, which is why JR and I took up working with him to support that factor. And I asked you guys, and you guys were 100%, hey, we with you. And so,
definitely.
So everybody knows I totally appreciate you, Rev, and Claudette joining the struggle that these people have.
Definitely. And I also want to be a part of any fundamental change to make the struggle of humanity better. Autism, that's another one. That's a big one for me that I want to work on, set up a campaign and work on that, tour off that. Cancer, I lost my mother to cancer in 2017. It was very devastating, life-changing experience for me. But I was very blessed that she got to see me do the things that I did do. When she saw me go record with the Outlawz, she saw me as a young child talk about how I wanted to record with Tupac, and if I never did any of this, people that know me, they would think that I'm crazy on how much I talk about Tupac, his life, his struggle, what he represented, and all the stories and all the capers and all the wonderful things that he filled our world with. I would be crazy, but since I'm a second generation outlaw, people can only nod their hats now. And people can only smile because I represent what's real. Also being a member of having a brief stint with the Real Machiavelli Records, ran by Kalen and ran by Kenny Black. I was able to experience that with the family, so it was a blessing to be a part of that. I released my single that I did with Hussien Fatal and Pistola through that line, and I'm very happy that I did that and had that experience, because I have a greater vision, and it's always, at the end of it, it's all about one nation, one people, one movement. So anything that's going in that direction, I'm on it. I want to be on the train. I want to be a part of it.
TC, where you been? I know you got questions, brother.
No, right now I'm just ready to see what kind of music you got. The questions seem to be getting asked. You know what I mean? I'm the resident hip hop dude, but the OGs is asking all the hip hop questions. So I'm gonna let them bars ride the way they've been riding. What you got for us? What you got, something that we can have the people listen to you know, and punch up to check out a joint by X-Con? What I gotta go on the computer and look for?
Oh, you could I got the song called Yesterday, or you can pull up the song Paid Niggas that KC had mentioned the other day.
What's that?
The song's called Paid Niggas, and it's a homage to Made Niggas done by Tupac. Done by Tupac and Outlawz, and it pretty much I was the last verse, and I was able to bring that home. And I think that if you played that, I think people would really enjoy the content of that music.
All right, right here on Inside the Music, the truth about the truth. We're gonna go ahead and punch up Paid is homage to Made is by Tupac by the King X-Con right here on Inside the Music, the truth about the truth on MovemRadio.com.
Yo, Coolio with the flow on Moving Radio. You sent them, we move.
Let no man infiltrate what we created. West side, feel me? I've been gone for years. God bless the dead for real. I got a plot to get richer, don't take my picture. A paid nigga. I got a plot to get richer, don't take my picture. No, the feds trailing. So my alias nigga belly. Exit the fleet. Memories of the strategy. Making my enemies bleed. I'm the nigga who will survive. Fuck a bitch, you can die. We not on the same side, so when I slide, I take the puff and I ride to the ghetto and rough them up. You shouldn't chase. Got a plan to fuck them up, it ain't no case. Understand the boss right in your face. I got the upper hand. Watch my upper plans to advance since the can. Activated the file when I die, cause she alive. Nothing but a single shot can change my reply. I ain't gon' lie, see the visions of doom, I'm so real. Shooting shots at the hip, kidnap your daughter, repent on my fans. Double back bustin', I blast. For real, I ain't moving fast, be the last motherfucker alive. God bless the dead, for real. I got a plot to get richer, don't take my picture. I'm paid, I've been gone for years. God bless the dead, for real. I got a plot to get richer, don't take my picture. I'm paid.
West side, pistol back, you fuck with me, it's gonna be tragic. Bet I'll make the suckers panic, ain't the weapon, I'm a savage. You fucking with the baddest, you don't wanna see the damage. I'll light the suckers up and turn their bodies into ashes. Yeah, I'm a born rebel, straight wildin' like a crazy devil. Bitch, I'm self-made, no you ain't on my level. Big tip, a grave digger, made by the game, I steady aim. Hit you with the gauge quicker, either kill or be killed. We outside for real, I stop for untouchable, I'm getting mine. Steady mobbing, yeah, all I do is cry. Fuck the world till I'm gone, low, these hard to find. Cause nobody gave a fuck, the suckers left me at the drop. And now they wonder why, I just let my trigger fly. Got the mind of a soldier, fuck what you heard, I'll be thugging till it's over.
I've been gone for years. God bless the dead, for real. I got a plot to get richer, don't take my picture. I'm paid, I've been gone for years. God bless the dead, for real. I got a plot to get richer, don't take my picture. I'm paid.
Fuck them all, fuck the law, you know we regulating. Penetrating all the fakey niggas, we conversating. I ain't worried, eyes blurry under this money, nigga. When I hate this no mistake, I'm dealing with these bummy niggas. Fuck a bitch, man, they relation kinda funny now. But I keep it back up playing, baby, I never drown. We ain't rapping, we letting dead homies tell the story. I ain't tripping, but I heard the feds, they be looking for me. No proposition when you dealing with the north side. 34 years later, Billy still that guy. I'm worldwide, it against the odds. OTG, all my niggas ride. Ain't no care for a hater. If you niggas ain't getting money, then I see you later. Ain't no care for a hater. If you niggas ain't getting money, then I see you later.
I've been gone for years. God bless the dead, for real. I got a plot to get richer, don't take my picture. I'm paid, I've been gone for years. God bless the dead, for real. I got a plot to get richer, don't take my picture. I'm paid, nigga.
Bottom feeder, came up from nothing. Hood raised rider, throughout the coochie bustin' on this platform belly. I'm the boss nigga, you heard, since bust from belly. Hit him up on the celly. Self-made nigga, came up from
get richer, don't take my picture. Okay, I've been gone for years. God bless the dead for real. I got a plot to get richer, don't take my picture. A paid nigga.
Sarge, we got a couple niggas here with guns, a lot of money, and women. But the nigga named Giovanni, what should I do?
Ex-con,
Let him go.
Nikolai Giovanni,
I repeat, let him go.
Don of all dimes.
They're paid niggas.
Exquisite, belly,
But Sarge,
motherfucking paid
I
nigga.
repeat, let him go.
West side.
Okay, this is the track that I first heard, right? So like, yo, I'm listening to the track, I'm trying to see what who we supposed to be talking to, what's going on and everything, trying to get a feel. And so the last verse run through and I'm like, who these cats on this, man? So I gotta call Don. I'm like, yo, man, who this cat rapping that sound like DMX trying to bounce on the track, man? Who that, man? So I'm like, okay, this is gonna be very interesting because like I say, I've worked in the studio with different artists who sound like different artists. And I've seen them go through struggles in their careers as a result of sounding like the other, like a famous individual. That's the reason I asked those questions. I asked questions from that perspective, because like oftentimes we have individuals who study other artists, really study them. They study them to the point where they pick up their cadence, they pick up their breathing style, and then when it's time for them to make a move, they get judged on the fact that you sound like Bone Thug, you sound like da da da, you sound like da da da.
I watched all of that, like with Biggie and then Gorilla Black, Mace. Not Mace. The brother that came out sounding like Shine. He sound like Biggie. I watched how people didn't receive them. I've seen a lot of people come out. Like you made a mention about on the show at Rev. You made a mention of Black Haze and said that the world wasn't ready for Black Haze.
Yeah, Black Haze.
I have a story for you. I have some true story about what Black Haze was. Black Haze was a fake. He took my homie Slim G's music. A young Slim G who was the first person that came out sounding like Tupac. He took Slim G's music. Slim G took about 2 albums from Slim G and he put the music out and then put his face on it. So when the music ran out, Black Haze didn't have any more ammo, so he disappeared. Slim G, if you look up Slim G, I did a song with my homie Slim G. He stole my man Slim G's music. Slim G's out in Atlanta, that's my homie. And Slim G's still doing his thing. And yes, Slim G does sound like Tupac. Sounds just like Rev. He sounds like my homie Pistola. And
he snatched and ran down the Slip and Slide Records.
Yeah, he did that.
I was down in Florida. I was doing a bunch of projects down in Florida at that time. So that's the story.
I met the horse, and when he told me the story about what happened with his music and how it was stolen from him, I really felt for him because I was just like you. I was a fan of Black Haze too. I was wondering where that cat went. But when I found out what happened and the backstory behind it, it made a lot of sense.
Sound like a little truth behind it.
Yeah, that's some truth behind the truth. That's some truth behind the truth for you.
Yeah, you find out different stories when you talk to different people. And
I even did a song with Slim G, and we had a guy from Poland who spit his verse in Polish on a song that we did. You can find that on Reverb Nation. We have a song that we did with Slim G, where he's the last verse. I started off with the first verse, and then the middle verse is in Polish from a gentleman by the name of Sango MLT. Slim G is a very talented artist, and I plan on doing some work with him in the future.
Okay. The conversations evolve. Yeah, because That was back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, late 90s.
Yep, right after Pac went away.
Yeah.
I understand you and Rev gonna be doing some stuff together.
Absolutely. Me and Rev are gonna be doing a lot of things together.
That's what I hear.
I love him, man.
So TC, from the hip hop side, man, bring something in there for us, man. Cause like the questions and stuff that I'm asking, he already in my conversation. He Black Haze, he already in my conversation.
Yeah, we the old heads. We need something from the new head.
Okay,
Conversation bit.
I got something to share that that the world would love to hear.
During closing arguments, it's interesting to note
Okay,
that the most
the first thing is I should talk about my experience recording with the main three Outlaws. Unbeknownst to some, I am the very last artist to record with Hussien Fatal. I was able to record with him at Tree Sound Studios in Atlanta. And I met with him and Young Noble. When we had broke bread, we ate, we chopped it up. We went to Tree Sound Studios and we made magic. I did a song with Young Noble and I did a song with Fatal. And the energy that those brothers gave me, it was amazing. And especially with Fatal. Fatal did his verse to our song. And after he did his verse, I told him, I looked at him, I said, yo, I said, I'm gonna make you feel like it's 96 again. And he took his head, he looked at me, laughed, and he dropped his head back like this guy. Like, yeah, right, like this guy. So I go in the booth, the beat comes on, my mind goes blank, I freestyle my bars, and it's like you walk around a corner. So as soon as I was done, I walked around the corner. I had a very stoic look on my face. And as soon as I come around the corner out the booth, Hussien Fatal's jumping up and down. And my eyes go wide. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, yo, you didn't hear that? You didn't hear that? I was like, what? He's like, yo, DJ, play that back. Run that back. I was like, what? He said, 96 big body sitting on chrome. And he was so happy. He looked like a little kid in a candy store. I felt like, so I started jumping up and down too. I was real excited, like we just won a Super Bowl or something. Like we just went to the NBA Finals and won. And at that very moment, what I didn't realize, I was being passed a flag. And with that flag comes a high level of responsibility. Because 10 days later, as we all know, the brother got in a car accident and he's no longer here with us. And it was such an emotional high to have accomplished recording with him and Young Noble. And then the very next day, hitting a plane, going from Atlanta to California. And on that same night, the very next night, inside 24 hours, I'm in this Tommy D studio recording with Amin. So I felt like I did like some type of trifecta, and I felt like what I did had to be done. I was very blessed that when the Outlaws contacted me and let me know that their schedules were open, it was like God was working, because I asked God, I got to record with them at the end of June, beginning of July. I asked God in May, I got on my hands and knees, and I said, and asked God that if he wanted me to continue doing this, he would give me the signs, and that he would give me the army that I need to make the fundamental change. And he gave me the Outlawz, which was a blessing, I believe, from the Most High. I became a second generation outlaw on Tupac's birthday. Unbeknownst to me, I get an email 2 weeks later telling me the Outlaw schedules were open. I had sent the Outlaws my music in New Year's, wishing them a happy New Year's. And I didn't think that somebody would get back to me, but they did. They heard my music and they got back to me, and this was right before they shot the movie, and told me that their schedules were open and what I would like to record with them. Obviously, I said, I do. I would love the opportunity. But it was also a funny way to how God works, because none of them knew I was a second generation outlaw. So when I got there and they knew I was a second generation outlaw, the carpet was already rolled open for me, just flowers and everything were put on the side. So I was very blessed for the opportunity. Tommy D has opened the studio for me. If I ever need to record, he told me that I could come through. We talked about this summer. He believes that I have the ability to complete the 7-day theory, to come in there and lay down a whole album in 3 days. He believes that I can do it. He saw me, he saw how fast I work in the studio. When I got in the studio, I was smoking my blunts and drinking. He thought I was going to be in there all night, you know, thought this was going to be something that might last a couple of days, but no, as soon as he fired the equipment on, I got up and I went right to work. He was amazed. I believe that when an engineer, you're in the studio with an engineer, you know, time is money, money is time. And time is something that's not promised to any of us. So I love to work fast. I like to get things done. And then I want to move on to the next project if that's possible. To get as much done as in a little time as necessary, because each individual that's putting their time is just as precious as mine. And I value that and I respect that. Just like you gentlemen are giving me your time today. I value and I respect that.
Yeah.
Now, if God saw fit to line it up for you, who is somebody? Because you've basically been to the pinnacle with this thing, with who you work with and their relevance in the game. But if it's somebody right now that God lined it the way you would have it, who is it? Somebody that you would want to be produced by, and who's somebody else that you feature bars with, or you take a spot and do a 16 with?
Oh wow. I believe that if I got to work with, I'm actually I work with Kurt Cobain. He did work for Death Row Records. Shout out to Kurt. He's not doing well. I'm hoping that, you know, he heals up and he's better. He's somebody that I got hands-on beats that I worked with. I did a song that he's actually mixing for me right now. So kind of like he was one of the people that I wanted to work with. I'd like the opportunity to work with Dr. Dre. I'm really cool with DJ Assassin. I plan on doing something with him in the near future. Yes.
Yeah.
And I have to honestly say that a lot of people that worked with Tupac have been, I've been very humble and blessed that they've offered and extended their services and opened the door for me. And it has made it easy for me to not only get in contact with them, but to also set up to do work with them. So I'm very blessed.
Who's on your playlist right now?
I like Tupac. Tupac's on my playlist. I listen to a lot of Hussien Fatal. A lot of the old school cat. The new music, I listen to it, but if there's somebody out there right now I would probably like to work with, I would have to say, I think I can make a good cut with 50 Cent. I think that if I got with if Dr. Dre got his hands on me, you know, we could come up with something crafty. I think that if any of the greats or anybody that's out there doing it, if they got with me, we can make magic. I believe that I'm just a cog in the clock, and I also believe that you know, when two people put their energy together to create some magic, you know, good things can happen when you're in the studio.
Yeah, that's magic.
So I'm willing to work with. I'm willing to work with most. Switch Beast is somebody I probably would like to work with too. He did a lot of work with DMX. I reached out to someone that X did work with, and he had interest in me. The guy who plays the piano, the white guy that plays the piano, did work with DMX.
Just keep talking, it'll come. I know you're talking about. I can't think of.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about, right?
yeah. I can't think of it either. That was out of left, but yeah.
Yeah. He heard my music and he believes I'm talented and he wanted to do some work with me.
Well,
But he was more on the financial tip, not just on the bonding tip. But
yeah,
it's business.
you're definitely a talented artist, King, and me in my head, I also I see you rocking with Nas on something because right now it's lyricism. You know, we getting back to lyricism, and you see a lot of the OGs and a lot of the brothers like yourself that have something to say. It's the rebirth of knowledge right now with everything that's going on. Cats want to hear, people want to hear, folks want to hear what's being said again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can still bounce, you can still do that. You can still do the other stuff.
Real music is coming back around.
Yeah.
It's a circle.
Yeah.
People are getting tired of mumble rap. It ran its course. Drill music has done its thing. It's run its course. Now it goes back to the real messages, real bars, real music. Those are things that are never going to die. It's these industry heads on what they put out and what they market and what they promote. I've heard you guys mention in the past that they don't want the conscious artists out there. They don't want the rapper that got the messages behind their music out there. They're trying to keep us dumbed down. They're trying to keep a society where we're zombies and the stuff they play on the radio, most of it is zombies, and they killed R&B. It's like they killed R&B. R&B needs to come back. And also I have aspirations to work with some R&B singers, you know, where I think those were some of the most successful songs where you had R&B singer singing and then you have a rapper come on rapping. That's something that's kind of gone away. It's like it's gone monotone. We need to bring that stuff back. And it's not that people don't miss it. It's just not here. And we just need to do those things again and make those things happen again.
Well, it's coming, brother. And with this advent of technology and because the business is changing and we get to eliminate a lot of the middlemen that kept us from owning ours and putting what we wanted to put out there directly to the people that wanted to hear it. You know, the underground is now above ground. So if you know how to maximize and capitalize on this technology and just like how we're here, we're in 3 different places, but we're in the same place. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So having the opportunity to do what we're doing right here. Listen, you eliminate the middleman, you control your destiny, you own your publishing, own your documentation, buy your masters, and you take care of that. And you can put your music in and everywhere it's got to go. We push it up on that time when we get ready to start wrapping it up. So this is where we start having our closing statements, our revelation moments. You get an opportunity to tell folks where to find your music, where to find you, how they can get you to come on out. We just gonna go around the table. Definitely gonna start with you, brother, and let the folks know, you know, what's your social media handles, how can the people find you, book you, you know, where the product is, and how they can get their hands on that.
Okay. Well, first off, I'd like to thank the Most High for giving me this opportunity to sit down with each and every one of you. I want to give a shout out to Urban Alliance. I want to give a shout out to my brother Seven Crown. I want to give a shout out to all the soldiers in the movement. I want to give a shout out to Cousin Rev, the Outlawz, second generation Outlawz, Young Noble, Edie, y'all doing y'all thing. I want to give a shout out to Tommy D. I want to give a shout out to each and every one of all y'all that rocked with me throughout the years, and we're going to continue to make things happen. You all can find me on Instagram, X_KHAN_. You can also find me on Facebook as XCon, EX space KHAN. I have music on all platforms, iTunes, Deezer, Spotify. You can find me all over the place. Reverb Nation. My music is everywhere. My music has been transcended worldwide. I've been blessed that my music has hit over 100 countries, and I want to continue to to push what we're doing and manifest what we're doing. But I want everyone to realize that without you, there is no me.
Hey man, we appreciate you. We appreciate your music. You were saying one of the biggest things you were saying is, well, TC brought it up, the revitalization and resurgence of the conscious music. It's very necessary. Rap artists was the last frontier of the storyteller. And I like to say that because a lot of people forgot who the storyteller was. The storyteller, there was always one individual that was in the tribe, that was in the village, that was designated to tell the story, not his story, not an adapted story, not a modified story, but the story. And the story has to be told the same way every time. You can't add extra hand gestures. You can't add extra inflections. So basically what I'm saying is that when you tell the truth has to be told pure. Okay. And it's very good to see that we have cats that are coming back, that are trying their best to tell the story, as the story is not his story or their story, but the story. And I'm out on that one.
Amen.
Well, brother, you know me. I just want to thank you. I appreciate you and Rev. You guys have brought me into the family and made me part of the family. And I truly appreciate everything that you cats have done. And I appreciate the fact that you guys came out and said to me, listen, I understand what you're trying to do for a group of people that have a disease. We're here. We're willing to help you. Let us know what it is you need, and we're there for you. So I just want to thank you. I appreciate you. And you know, you and I going to be talking. So
yes,
keep
sir.
the fire lit, brother, because you know I'll be back.
All right, DC.
Brother, and in closing, to our listeners and our supporters, just want you to know that the real rap music has never ever died. Just like any tree, just like any bush, just like any piece of shrubbery, you grow another branch and it grows out. Sometimes it might grow a little thinner than the rest of the tree, the rest of the branch, the rest of the bush, but it's another little appendage. It may only go so far, it may only live so long, but it's a part of what we're doing. And you heard the brother and you heard the king saying, you know, we have this music. This music is ours. It's the art of storytelling. You heard King Khan say, hey, listen, we did that. It's time to get back to the roots, because remember, of anything that comes out of this earth, the roots and the body are bigger than the branches. So we got to make sure that we continue to keep that body fed so that we can continue to feed branches in this thing we call music, in this thing we call hip hop, and make sure that we prune the branches once it's time. Don't kill them all, but once it's time, because guess what? We still got the whole rest of that body to keep feeding and to keep enjoying, so that when the seasons turn, we see those new leaves flourishing, and whatever comes next out of hip hop is what comes next. With that, King X-Con, I want to tell you, brother, it was a pleasure having you, man. We appreciate you coming through and doing your thing with us. We wish you nothing but the absolute best and the absolute success of what is to come, man, because what God has for you is for you. So wherever it is that you're supposed to be, whomever it is that you're supposed to be produced by, whomever it is you're supposed to be spitting those lovely jewels with, that's exactly where you're supposed to be, fam. So you make sure you walk in that light that you are seeing in front of you and that you following at the same time, brother. Keep that energy going. Keep that peace in you going, man, and keep that love in your heart, because without that, brother, we have nothing. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Inside the Music, the Truth About the Truth, with this week's guest, X-Con of the Second Generation Outlawz. Check him out on all musical platforms. Check him out on social media. Make sure you go look him up, and make sure you continue to follow him and us right here at movemradio.com. Inside the Music, the Truth About the Truth, where we are brought to you by Three Pharaohs Productions, Studio 17-6, Studio 204, Source 3 Entertainment, Stormy Weathers Entertainment, and you know I stay dripped and solid because you got to stay right, stay pressed, stay dressed, stay solid, baby. And shout out to Big Man. You see me in the lab right here. He makes sure I stay ready to work at all times, pressing them buttons, dropping them things, and no matter what, how you living in life, do the right thing simply because it's the right thing to do. Holla at your big homie. You're always around. Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.